Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM. Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife and Resources Agency.
Good Saturday morning, everyone. Once again, it is Outdoors with Larry Ray, the fastest 90 minutes in outdoor programming. All things that you want to know for hunting, fishing, boating, anything having to do with the outdoors. You can find it on Outdoors with Larry Ray, coming to you from the spacious ESPN 790 studios here in Memphis, Tennessee. So, without further ado, the one and only, the oracle of the outdoors, Larry Ray.
Oh, I love to hear that oracle. I mean, that just really, it sends goosebumps up my back, you know. I mean, because that oracle, and without further ado, too, I like that. So, thank you, Frank Barton.
You're welcome.
You have a sidelight when you ever retire that you can do introductions. Okay, just like when I ever retire, I want to be the man that names fishing lures and colors. You know, that's and this David Best knows that's my desires. I've always told everybody that, but it's good to talk to David. Hey, David. Good morning.
Good morning, y'all. Good morning.
You got a busy day today, David. I know at 8 o'clock.
Good Lord, yeah.
At 8 o'clock this morning, you'll be out of Herb Parsons Lake. 15 kayaks in the water. You and the TWRA, Amy, Snyder, Spencer, is out there ramrodding this thing. It's so people can come and watch, can't they? I mean, are you open to people? Or
yeah. I mean. Yeah, the parks will be open to everybody, so there's absolutely no reason they couldn't come out here and watch it a little bit. You know, we're probably going to be tooling around in the lake a little bit here and there, just trying to kind of give the guys some knowledge on how to position the boat in different situations. And hopefully we'll have a little bit of wind here this morning so we can show them how to position, you know, and drift and do different things. Using rudders and some of the other things that you can attach on these darn kayaks, because you can do about anything in the world with them.
So you're going to have about 15, you said. Now,
yes, sir.
Kayak fishing, and I know, Frank, we've talked about it, is really exploding, David. So tell us how popular this is getting.
Well, let's see. In the last 4 to 5 weeks, we have sold more boats than we sold in all of 2019. Every manufacturer in the country that we deal with is 4 to 8 weeks behind.
My goodness.
And you just can't catch up.
And primarily, what are you dealing with? So what brand do you have primarily?
Well, we sell Hobie, New Canoe, Feel Free Three Waters. That is our three major brands. And yours,
go ahead. All right.
And you know, my personal favorite is the Hobies.
Yes.
Yeah. They're just kind of the flagship. I mean, with
they've been
pedal
doing
drives, and
yeah,
it's just hard to beat.
They've been doing it a while, and I've had the fortune of being in one of the Hobies when they first came out with the power drive and your feet and all these different kind of things, and how easy it was to operate. But these are not your father's old kayaks, right?
Oh, heck no. You can stand in these things. You can do all kinds of stuff with the kayaks that we have out here nowadays. I've got guys that just, I mean, boats with 7, 8, 10-inch graphs on them,
yeah,
side scan, all kinds of just different features. And, I mean, you can do just about anything. I tell everybody that we got two slogans for kayaks around here, and it's Legos for adults, and you're only limited to your imagination on what you can do with this thing.
Frank, now, I know when I was growing up, and I talked to Frank off the air about my first time on a Big Red, a three-wheeler, ATV.
Yep.
And, Frank, you can look back at those days and then talk about where Polaris was and where they are now. The evolution of the ATV and now the evolution of the kayak, Frank. I mean, I basically can compare those two, can't you?
I was thinking about Larry coming on. I mean, the kayaks, you can't go anywhere now without seeing people pulling kayaks or
yes,
strapping them to the top of their vehicles and going someplace.
Yeah.
They're everywhere.
Yeah, yeah. And we're talking about, All right, I know Frank's got some Cadillac ATVs out there. Now, you probably at S.Y. Wilson and Primary Tackle at your place there in Arlington has some Cadillac kayaks, but you've also got some that a beginner can use and start and learn. So talk about what's the price ranges of these things?
We've got boats in price ranges anywhere from $400 to $5,000, and those are base model pricing.
$400 to $5,000. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Wow. All right.
So that $5,000 Hobie, though, has rudders that'll go sideways. The fins kick up if you hit something with them, and will turn 360 degrees so that you can make that boat do anything in the world you want it to do.
Now, they don't just have kayaks and canoes at Primary Tackle. They got some. You got some fishing stuff out there too, right, David? I mean,
we do. We have lots and lots of fishing tackle out here as well. Of course, the big challenge right now with everything that's been going on, and it's not just us, it's everybody in the industry, is just getting product in and keeping product in place.
Yeah.
It has been a challenge of a year just with keeping hooks in line and just all the different products, because there's so many guys out there fishing. And then with the everything else that's going on, just the restructuring in the industry of where product is and where things are going as far as delivery and getting shipped in and imported, and it's just been a challenge of a year.
Well, it's just like our friends at Strike King are no longer in Collierville, and now they're in Springfield, and things evolve into those. Again, we're talking to David Best. Many times we talk fishing with David, and we're going to talk a little bit with that at Primary Tackle out in the S.Y. Wilson, the old what's that, 18 what? What was that thing, Bill?
1893.
1893. Frank, that's older than me. Okay, Frank? We're talking about age. I know the Barton family goes back a long time too. Y'all come over the Mayflower, or did you come? Did you use another trucking system? So that's. Did you get
You're
that?
so kind to me, Larry.
No, the Mayflower trucking system. You didn't get that. Not the boat. We move people by Mayflower, but to hear him talk about the kayak and to hear talk about that, and you mentioned that, Frank. You guys, has it been hard for you to get products in, Frank?
Real hard, and it's not just me. It's pretty much industry-wide, at least certainly in this area.
Yeah.
Everybody's running out of stuff. It's kind of hard to believe, but it's true.
It is true. And then I know that today we'll get back to Herb Parsons, 8 o'clock, Herb Parsons. I did not know until I looked it up, and Herb Parsons actually has an address. I did not know that. I just knew it was out in Macon Road as far as you go. And but it is 140 Herb Parsons Way in Collierville.
Yes, sir.
And someday we may have a contest to say who was Herb Parsons named after. What's the lake named after, and who was he? Because I had the opportunity to actually meet Herb Parsons' two brothers at one time. But that's that's this morning at 8 o'clock. Now, what's going on fishing wise? Tell me. I know we've had a string of some good weather here after we've had all the other weather. So what's happening fishing wise?
Well, the fishing has gotten a little bit tougher. We're going into that summertime pattern. So the fish have been a little, they're a little behind this year. They've honestly stayed about 2 to 4 weeks behind. They started out ahead.
Yeah.
And then they kind of got behind because the weather cooled off a little bit. We had so much freaking rain, and it really changed the seasonal trend around here for the fish. But they're kind of in that in-between funk, but they're moving out to some deeper water, and the fishing's been a little challenging.
But
it's getting better by the day, seems like. But we've still got a lot of folks catching them. It's been a pretty good year.
Well, that's what we want to know. Tell our listeners also, before we let you go, David, I know you do a great job on Thursday nights with your podcast. Talk about that.
Yeah, so on our Thursday night podcast at 7 o'clock on Facebook Live, we do what we call Facebook Live. And I have different guest speakers that come on every month or every week. And like this last weekend, last Thursday, I had Mark Davis, who's one of our local anglers, fishes the West Tennessee Bass Shacker Zone, talking about the Hobie BOS.
Yes.
One of these weeks here before too long, I'm going to have Larry on.
Well, I'll watch it. And
it might be the best way for me to get you in the store.
Probably will be. But, hey, if you're looking for that Father's Day gift, this is the day to drive out. Nice day, beautiful day. Drive out to Arlington, downtown Arlington, right there if you want to call it that, but right at the S.Y. Wilson store, Primary Tackle. Go out there and buy everything David's got, and that way he can fish full time. Okay, just buy him out. David, thank you, buddy. Have a great day.
Thank you, Larry. Y'all have a great day.
I'll see you sometime, David. I will. I know what you look like. All right, bye-bye.
All right,
David Best. You know, Frank, we joke a lot, but we're really fortunate and blessed to live in an area that has so many things that you can do outdoors. And I know you know that as well as I do. Growing up here,
lots of friends, and they always talk about duck season and around here and all the opportunities. And when they hear how many days I get to go duck hunting, they just kind of most of them are lucky to get a weekend or two off, and I'm able. Here I am.
Well, you can be in the duck blind in less than what?
Half hour.
Half an hour, y'all. And I've been with Frank, and hopefully this next year, it's the time again that I can make some more memories with Frank. But anyway, go out. That's 8 o'clock at Herb Parsons for the Kayak Fishing TWRA sponsored event, and 8 o'clock till 3 o'clock today at Indian Motorcycles, Polaris, right over here at 5715 Mount Moriah. Go by and see Frank over there, and then we're going to take a break right now, and it's time to talk to the man himself, Jacob Wheeler. He just won at Pickwick, and he's going to talk to us about the new 3-pound minimum limit for Major League Fishing. That's right here on Outdoors with Larry Ray.